Hello friends, this is Dr. Ritvi. Welcome to Homoeopathy the Healing Power. Friends, today we are going to study the most contradictory remedy of our Homoeopathic Materia Medica. Friends, this remedy have strange, uncommon, unexpected, uncertain symptoms. And these are the most characteristic and keynote symptoms of this remedy. It is one of the female remedy and also one of the chief remedy for hysteria. Friends, I am talking about none other than Ignatia Amara. So friends, let's study in detail about the indications, about the keynote symptoms and clinical conditions where this remedy can be prescribed. Also in the later part, let's see the mind of Ignatia patient. That will help you in your exam and also to identify this remedy in your clinic. If you are new to our channel and if you have not subscribed our channel till now, then subscribe the channel, press the bell icon and select option all so that you will get notified whenever a new video is uploaded from Homoeopathy the Healing Power. Also, if you find this video helpful, give this video a like, share this video among homeopathic students and in your college. So let's get started. Ignatia Amara. Ignatia is one of the climbing shrub which is found in Philippine Islands and in Cochin, China. This shrub have big sized fruit, and within this fruit there are number of seeds which are highly bitter in taste. The mother tincture of this remedy is prepared from the powdered seeds. This powdered seeds contains large amount of strychnia. Well, friends, there is other remedy in our Materia Medica also prepared from the nuts, which again contains strychnia as its main active principle, and the remedy is nux vomica. But here in Ignatia, the strychnia is found in larger proportion as compared to nux vomica. This remedy belongs to Loganiaceae family. The common name of this remedy is St. Ignatius bean, and this great remedy of contradiction is again proved by Master Samuel Hahnemann sir. Ignatia is one of the female remedy. So it suits to women who have nervous temperament. They are very sensitive, easily excitable in nature, and they have hyperesthesia to all the senses. This remedy acts on the nervous system, and here it specially acts on the medulla oblongata, on spinal cord, as well as it acts on the entire nervous system. By acting on medulla oblongata and on spinal cord, this remedy produces convulsion, spasm, chorea, hysteria and dyspnea. Again, because of its action on nervous system, it produces acuteness of nerves which result in hyperesthesia, that is excessive sensitive to all the senses. It produces emotional disturbances, incoordination and various contradictory symptoms. That is why there is no coordination between the symptoms of Ignatia, and most of the symptoms are contradictory and paradoxical in its nature. Friends, let's see the constitutional makeup of Ignatia. As described before, that Ignatia is typically a female remedy. So this remedy is again suited to women who are dark in color, dark looking lady with dark hairs and dark complexion. They have nervous temperament, and again they are very sensitive, they get easily excited, they are very quick in perception and they are very rapid in execution. So whenever we see an Ignatia patient, we will see that they are very highly alert and aware of whatever is happening around them. So they quickly perceive all this stimulus and they are very rapid in action. That is again the most important keynote symptom of Ignatia. Thermally, we cannot describe whether the Ignatia is a hot remedy or a cold remedy. because this is a contradictory medicine. Because symptom here may get aggravated or ameliorated by cold or by heat simultaneously. There is no any specific key indication to mention here. Friends, let's see the origin of symptoms. In Ignatia, the symptoms are origined because of anger, because of grief, because of disappointment in love, because of fear and jealousy. As well as in Ignatia, the symptoms are produced because of bad news, because of suppressed sexual desire, because of suppressed mental sufferings. Symptoms in Ignatia are also produced because of tobacco, because of coffee, and also because of alcohol. In fact, the patient cannot tolerate tobacco in any form. Friends, Ignatia is one of the female version of Nux vomica. We can say that Ignatia is a female counterpart of Nux vomica. As both of this remedy belongs to Loganiaceae family, both of these remedies are prepared from the seeds, and these seeds contain the main active principle strychnia. So both have a similar type of energy within these remedies. Nux vomica is very passionate, very zealous and very ardent in its nature, whereas Ignatia have lots of hysteria, nervousness and grief in its background. Friends, let's see the keynote symptoms of Ignatia. Starting first with the main theme of Ignatia, that is the contradictory symptoms, also called it as paradoxical symptoms. So this paradoxical symptoms means a symptom or a situation with two opposite things that is impossible to occur. Now let's study this symptom with many examples. Let's see with empty all-gone sensation filling in the stomach by the Ignatia patient. But this sensation will not relieve after eating. Let's say if Ignatia patient is suffering from piles, then these piles will get aggravated by soft stool, which are supposed to get aggravated by hard stool. Secondly, if patient is unable to hear, but the Ignatia patient will be able to hear in a very noisy place. So this is the contradictory symptoms of Ignatia, and this makes Ignatia a contradictory remedy. Friends, let's see the next keynote symptoms. In Ignatia, there is a great changeability of symptoms seen. That means a one state of symptom gets converted into the other state. Let's say if patient is happy at this state, suddenly the patient will turn towards sorrow and weeping. If the patient is mentally calm and quiet, suddenly the patient will turn towards a very weird hysterical condition. A sudden weeping condition will convert into a laughter. Joy changes into sorrow, and this uncertain state of mind and changeability in symptoms makes Ignatia a very unique remedy. The next keynote symptom of Ignatia is hypersensitiveness to all the senses. The patient is highly hypersensitive to all the senses, like the patient is highly sensitive to pain, to touch, to odor and to noise. There is long involuntary sighing seen in a patient. That means the patient takes long involuntary deep breathing or deep expiration. This is generally seen in the mental state of Ignatia patient. This is a keynote symptoms seen in the Ignatia from head to top, and this keynote symptom will be seen with the other clinical conditions. Most of the symptoms are caused and aggravated because of tobacco. The patient has a great contradiction to tobacco or to the tobacco smoke. Even if the nearby people smokes the tobacco, then because of that smoking, the patient suffers from sudden headache and other mental symptoms. So here the Ignatia patient cannot tolerate tobacco in any form. Most of the pains of Ignatia are seen in a spots. That means these pains are seen in a spots that can be covered by the tip of our finger. Friends, let's see the clinical conditions where Ignatia can be prescribed. Starting first with the headache. Ignatia patient has nervous hysterical headache. These headaches are seen in a small spots which can be covered by the tip of the finger. This headache is also caused because of tobacco, anger, grief, or because of any bad news. Here the patient feels as if a nail is driven within the skull, and the patient feels better by lying on that affected part. There is again a changeability of symptoms seen during headache, and this unexpected, uncertain headache may come suddenly and go suddenly. These headaches get aggravated by mental labor, by exposure to strong, disgusting smell, by disturbed emotions, and by taking coffee, alcohol, or tobacco. Generally, these headaches are periodic in nature, and this type of headaches get better by profuse flow of urination. Let's see the gastrointestinal symptoms of Ignatia. Starting first with dyspepsia. Here, the dyspepsia and indigestion in Ignatia is seen especially in the hysterical woman, and the symptoms are again unexpected and uncertain. The patient here has all gone sensation filling in the stomach, which is not relieved by eating. The patient has great salivation in the mouth, aversion to tobacco. There is distension of abdomen seen with excess of flatulence in hysterical women. Here the ladies suffer from urgent desire to pass the stool, but however here the patient will not pass the stool, but the patient will pass flatus, and along with that we will see that there is a protrusion of rectum. So a simple flatus will produce protrusion of rectum. This is the contradictory and keynote symptom of Ignatia. Ignatia is also prescribed for weird constipation, and this weird constipation is seen in again hysterical and nervous woman. The patient has a desire to pass the stool, and this desire to pass the stool is felt by the patient in the upper intestine, that is in the epigastrium region. So here patient strains so much to pass the stool, and after the straining the patient may pass hard or soft stool, but along with this passage of stool there is a prolapse of rectum seen. And again the most contradictory symptom is seen that with constipation the patient may pass soft stool after a hard straining, and this may lead to prolapse of rectum even with soft stool. Because of this continuous straining, the patient later suffers from piles, and these piles are again aggravated because of soft stool rather than because of a hard stool. These piles are also better by walking, and there is a stitching pain felt in an anal region. This pain shoots up in the rectum, and these pains are felt by the patient for long hours after the stool. This pain is again in a small spot covered by the tip of the finger. Ignatia is also prescribed for toothache. Here the toothache is felt by the patient during rest. That means the toothache gets aggravated when patient is taking rest, and the toothache feels better when patient is continuously eating. So while the process of eating, the patient feels better. This toothache are again get aggravated by exposure to tobacco in any form and by lying down. Ignatia is also indicated for female complaints. Especially it is indicated for dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea is sometimes associated with hysterical symptoms in these ladies. So here there is a constant pain in the stomach with deep breathing, with deep sighing. The patient may have scanty or profuse menstrual flow. This flow may be of dark black or bright red in color. But the most important keynote symptom is seen, and that is here the patient has a desire to take a deep breathing, and this deep breathing will relieve the dysmenorrhea, will give a little bit of relief from the pain felt during menses. So this is again a keynote indication of Ignatia. Ignatia is also indicated for fever of all the types, and here the keynotes are important. That is, during chill stage there is a great thirst for water, and during the fever, during the heat stage, there is no desire to drink water. During the chill stage, the patient suffers from shivering type of chills, and these chills are felt in upper arms and then they spread towards back and towards the chest region. The patient shakes because of chill, and here the patient feels better in warm room and near the hot stove. In heat stage, there is again absence of thirst and patient throws out all the coverings because the external heat also aggravates the heat stage. Here the patient falls into the deep sleep during this heat stage. The patient also takes deep breathings in between. Again, this is the keynote symptom of Ignatia, and also there is a breaking out of urticarial rash seen during the fevers, and this rash get reduced by sweat stage. Friends, let's see the mind symptom of Ignatia. As discussed earlier, Ignatia is one of the contradictory remedy. Most of the symptoms are caused because of disturbed emotions. Also, this is a chief remedy for hysteria. So, the mind also is very uncertain and very disturbed. Again, the state of mind constantly changes from joy to sorrow, from sorrow to joy, from calmness to sudden hysterical conditions. Ignatia patient have a very weird habit. Ignatia patient have a fault-finding nature. Fault-finding nature is extremely seen in this patient. This patient cannot tolerate contradiction. They cannot tolerate opposition and objection. If there is any opposition or objection towards their work, or there is any delay in their work, this will bring a disturbed mental state. This will produce all sorts of sufferings one after the another. This contradiction sometimes excites anger, and so this Ignatia patient are also very short-tempered patient. The Ignatia patient is very moody. Ignatia is typically prescribed for grief which is received recently. So it is a remedy for grief received recently. Here the patient is very sad, very moody, very melancholic, very indifferent. The patient has no desire to talk to anyone, and the patient desires to stay alone. There is also weakness of memory seen. This Ignatia patient have sensitive mood. They are very impatient, sometimes quarrelsome. They are good-natured otherwise, but they get easily disturbed by slightest emotional disturbance or easily get offended. And once they are emotionally disturbed and once they get offended, the number of mental symptoms are again seen in this patient. This produces endless suffering in patient. Involuntary sighing, that is taking deep breaths, are again seen in this Ignatia patient, and they are seen more when they are mentally disturbed. Long-lasting grief produces mental and physical disturbances in Ignatia. The patient also had a great anxiety as if the patient has committed any crime. Again, the patient is very fearful, very restless, and the patient commits the mistakes while talking and while writing. Most of the symptoms of Ignatia are worse in morning, in open air, after meals, by taking coffee, by smoking, by exposure to external warmth, and by liquids. And most of the symptoms are better by changing the position and while eating. This remedy is compared to zincum, califos, sepia, and simicifuga. Ignatia is complementary to natrum mood and it is incompatible to coffea, nux vomica and tobacco. It antidotes pulsatilla, chamomilla and cocculus. Again, the lower and the highest potencies are equally useful. So friends, this is all about Ignatia. Please leave your valuable feedback and any suggestion in the comments section given below. Like this video, share this video and subscribe the channel to meet again. Thank you for watching.